Welcome to Lacie's Lineup, College Football Edition. Thanks for joining me for my first ever college football coverage. And do we have a lot to talk about today? Whether it be big upsets, surprising and disappointing losses, some mediocre play, and definitely some teams that have set themselves apart from everybody else. It's going to be a wild ride with all the new SEC teams, the conference changes, and now we have a 12-man playoff, which I am so excited about because I didn't think it was fair when it just came down to the top four. So let's not waste any more time and discuss what went on this past weekend. Kickoff to Lacie's College Football Edition starts right now. Let's start with Northern Illinois and Notre Dame. Guys, this has to be the most shocking defeat of week 2. No one saw it coming. I mean, you had Notre Dame come in and beat Texas A&M in the 12th man, a very hostile environment to start their season. So you think they're on track. They come home and Northern Illinois just put on a show. Props to them, but they could not get anything going. I mean, Notre Dame had 2 good drives. They started their first drive. They started and they did the ball well. They made it to the touchdown, but they could not get anything going. Riley Leonard, quarterback for Notre Dame, felt pressure all day, was very uncomfortable. He just did not see it coming. They were very scatterbrained. Northern Illinois, I mean, they went in, nothing to lose. Those teams like that are scary. Normally, it could be a close game, but the better team comes out in the end. That was not the case for Notre Dame. It continued to be a bloodbath the entire game, and Northern Illinois hangs on to defeat number 5 Notre Dame. It's the first time in history that a unranked team, a mid-America conference player beats a top 5 team, and it was on display. Came down to a blocked field goal at the end, and Notre Dame shocked along with everybody else watching. And let's listen. I mean, props to Thomas Hammock, head coach for Northern Illinois, for what he did. And let's listen in to hear his emotional speech after the game.
Coach, I can sense that you need a moment. Top 5 opponent. This is NIU's first win against a top 10 opponent ever. And for people who need context, you wore this jersey. It's deep for you. Why?
You know, I'm so proud of our kids, the coaches, just everybody. They believed. They believed. And we came here and got it done.
Next game that I thought was going to be a lot better than it was, but it proved not to be very fast, was number 3 Texas versus number 10 Michigan. This was supposed to be the game of the week. This was a big matchup. They're going to Ann Arbor, Michigan. The stadium playing there is just insane, super loud, but Texas took care of business early and they quieted that crowd to where I've never seen it that quiet. Michigan lost a lot last year. They lost a lot of their line. They lost over 10 players. They lost their coach and their quarterback. So yes, we expected a rebuilding, but Michigan's been a program that's been in the top. I mean, they're coming off national champions from last year. And Texas, I hate saying it because I'm a big OU fan, which you guys will soon learn while I cover college football. So I hate rooting for Texas, but I have to call it how it is. And right now, Texas looks like the team to beat. They are hitting on all cylinders. I mean, they have Bond, they have Helm, and their tight end. Quinn Ewers is unbelievable. I mean, he really has proven to be one of the greats, if not the greatest, in college football right now for this season. And hey, did we mention that if for some reason something happens to Quinn Ewers, they have Arch Manning waiting in the wings? Texas is the real deal. I think the OU Texas game is going to be insane. Obviously, it's a rival, but you'll see me talk about OU here in a second. But it was night and day difference between these two, and Texas went in and dominated and showed they are the team to beat. Michigan drops hard this week, and Texas regains more strength. Now, this was an interesting game. This isn't one I thought that I would be commenting on this week. Even though it is a big rival, Arkansas always proves to be a competitor when it comes. Oklahoma State is back and forth as well. They both lost a lot of players. But here it is, a big rival. This was the most exciting one. I mean, 2 overtimes. I kept thinking the game was over, and then it just kept going and going and going. Oklahoma State, number 16, against an unranked Arkansas team. But again, like I said, it's always a big matchup when these two play each other. They brought it. It was an exciting game. Bowman for Oklahoma State was huge. Obviously, Ollie Gordon, he's still producing great numbers. But this came down to a double overtime. And finally, Oklahoma State wins this game by having to go for a touchdown and converting the 2-point conversion. I think Arkansas just ran out of gas in those last minutes. And it turned out to be an awesome game. Unfortunately for Arkansas, they did not do what they needed to do, but they gave it their all and left the fans wanting more. So great job to both teams. Oklahoma State obviously came out on top, and they will move up in their ranking and stay in those top 25. Boomer Sooner. Guys, this is my team. You'll learn throughout the season, just like when I cover NFL, Cowboys are my team. The Oklahoma Sooners have always been my team. I'm from Oklahoma, so they have a special place in my heart. But man, did they give me a heart attack this past weekend. We're about to enter a very, very hard SEC schedule, and these are the wins that we needed to dominate and show that we were ready to go into the SEC. And Houston, guys, that is not okay. They got destroyed by UNLV in week 1, and they are playing on our home where we are supposed to be the dominating force, and it was ugly. I mean, I know we're battling injuries. We lost Farouk, which is one of our wide receivers. We're still battling comebacks with Nick Anderson and Andrell Anthony. But Jackson Arnold, he doesn't really fit our OU DNA yet. We're not used to picking up a quarterback that's more of a pocket thrower. We're used to ones that use their legs a lot more. And he just hasn't come into it yet. He missed a lot of opportunities to move the ball down the field. He looked a little rattled. And this is Houston. We have to be better. We have to be precise. It came down, and defense really looked scatterbrained too. And Coach Brett Venables, that's what he thrives on, is our defense. And we looked so good in week 1. But I did say that they did show up there at the end. We were able to get a safety with them to help us win the game. But then we still were making crazy mistakes and even gave them a chance after the safety because we took our helmet off and got a penalty. OU's got to pick it up. We got a big one with Tulane this week. and we didn't move anywhere in the rankings, which rightfully so. We deserve to lose that game. So we got to either decide that we're going to play, or this SEC schedule is going to be a long, long season. Come on, Sooners. Well, those are the games that I wanted to cover today. There was still a lot that happened this past week. I mean, you had LSU beating Nichols, but they kept it close most of the game. Penn State pulls it out over Bowling Green. I mean, those are expected that we want to win. Georgia dominates. Utah takes care of Baylor. Ole Miss. I talked about Texas earlier in this as a team to beat. Ole Miss is on my radar as well. They are dominating. They got the real deal quarterback, and he is showing that he can play. They just dominate again, and I think that's going to be one to watch that's going to continue to move up in the rankings. Alabama roll tides through again, but they still haven't played really anybody. Oregon squeaks by, literally squeaks by again. They've been struggling. We'll see if they can pick it up or if they're going to drop here in the near future. Rankings, Georgia stays one. Biggest thing, Texas and Ohio State switch places. That puts Texas at 2, Ohio State at 3. Tennessee moves up quite a bit with their performance, and Michigan, biggest fall of the week, which rightfully so, because they got embarrassed by Texas. Thank you guys for tuning in for Lacie's first college football edition. Hope you guys enjoy it. Enjoy another great week of football, and I will be back next week to go over all the highlights that we need to talk about from college on week 3. Until then, your girl is signing off.